What's up everyone, it's Wednesday night and you are very welcome along to the Anfield Agenda. I'm your host Craig and this is your show. As I tell you guys every night, you let me know what you want to talk about and we'll go from there. Right, look, let's get straight into it. Let's see who's in the chat tonight, who we got to say hello to. Frank is in, Dalksty is in, Kyle is in, Mossy's in, Liverpool fan 10, VA fan Dijk, Rafa the Gaffer, Patrick, Tom Peters, Premier League fan, Liam Kyle, Sebastian, Leitrim for Sam, Mason, Mark Ross, Michael Hooper, Ethan Collins, Paul Turner, MJ, Andrew Robertson's biggest fan. Welcome, Jonas, LFC333 and Sean. How are you? Welcome into the chat, guys. If I've missed anybody again, apologies, but look, welcome in. How are you? I hope your Wednesday's well. The Reds back in action in 2 days. There is lots and lots for us to talk about tonight. We can talk about the Premier League. We can talk about the Reds game. This will be a preview show on the whole towards the game on Friday night. Let me know your team selections. Let me know your score predictions. Lots for us to get through. But as I always do, let's start with your comments. Frank said hello to you, mate. Hello to Kyle as well. 50 minutes. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the 50 minutes thing is. Looked like we have to beat the Saints. We will beat the Saints, Patrick. It's alright, mate. I've got every faith in this Liverpool team to beat the Saints. And if we're talking about Manchester City and their result tonight, look, let's be fair. Cardiff, Neil Warnock, they were always going to bend over and take it for Manchester City. They were always going to welcome them in, shall we say. I was never expecting anything other than Manchester City win. But on that one, while we're talking about Manchester City, can we take a second to just say what a fucking shambles of a club Manchester City is? So let me paint a picture for you. You're in a really tight title race. You're head-to-head with Liverpool. Ridiculous points totals being settled. You're on for a possible quadruple. You want to roar your team onto success. And about 30 to 35% of that fucking stadium was empty yet again. I know we joke. I know we laugh. I know opposition fans at times point and call it the empty had. But it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous that they're going for a quadruple. And they couldn't even be arsed going to watch them playing. That's how bad that club is. It's a fucking shambles. And for people to point at it as some beacon of hope or some fantastic achievement, it's a fucking joke. It's a pumped up club full of oil money that has no real fucking fan base other than the hardcore fans that have been there for 20 years. After that, their fans are all overseas. They're all new blow-ins to the game. Nobody gives a fuck about Manchester City. I hope the fuck UEFA ban them, relegate them, burn the thing to the ground, because it's a fucking shambles. To be looking at a club going for the Premier League and you look around on the stadium, which they've increased the capacity of, by the way, and which as mugs we're told, oh, this game's sold out, that game's sold out, all the tickets are sold out, record attendances, record revenue, sponsors queuing up. Fuck off. You're not kidding anybody. Manchester City's a joke. It's an absolute fucking joke of a club. And the sooner the better they go back to being a pumped up Wigan Athletic, the better it is for football. Let's be fair about that. It's a joke of a club. I've got zero respect for that football club. None whatsoever. I'm constantly getting sent pictures of people saying, look how empty it is. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that shithole of a stadium that they were given for nothing pretty much is empty because they have no fans. It's as simple as that. They have no fans. And all the fans that you do see on social media, I would bet you, I don't know, a large percentage of those were Chelsea fans or other clubs fans or blow-ins to the game or glory hunting shits. You know it, I know it, the world knows it. The club is an absolute shambles. And we should all be pointing at them and laughing rather than celebrating the fact that oil-rich club is going potentially to do a quadruple. Because nobody gives a fuck. Let's be fair. Nobody gives a fuck. There you go. Manchester City rant over with. Apparently Goldbridge was actually a Forest fan. He wasn't, Liam. That just isn't true. It's a story. And I think, if memory serves, I think Mark said that might have been started by a rival channel. But don't quote me on that one. I'm just thinking, trying to recall. What else have we got? Liverpool fans don't need to worry about City. I'm a Barcelona fan. I respect Pep, but the English media is hyping up the oil glory hunters. Cade, mate, I'm with you. Nothing against the players of Manchester City and nothing against the manager. Nothing whatsoever. I've said that time and time again. My beef, my gripe is not with them. Pep Guardiola is a wonderful football man, a wonderful manager, and I've got the utmost of respect for the man. But after that, mate, as you've said, the media, glory hunt, like, where's the real in-depth reporting on Manchester City? Where is the in-depth analysis of their books? Why isn't there any investigative journalism coming from an English side with regards to what the fuck is going on at Manchester City? All we get is, wow, look at how great Manchester City are. Wow, they're keeping the ball for fun. Wow, they've had 18 corners against Cardiff. Wow, 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 wow. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. Let's be fair. Nobody gives a fuck. Manchester City could win every trophy for the next 10 years and they still won't be relevant because it's all built on a fucking basis of lies and bullshit. And we're not idiots. The world can see this. The world can see it. United win leagues. We kind of begrudge them, to be fair, because we don't like them, but you can understand where it came from. Arsenal won leagues. You can get where it comes from. City, it's a joke. Sky panned the camera down to cover up the empty seats, said Liverpool 5 times. Exactly, they filled the stadium when Oasis played there in 2005, which is true, and they used to fill Main Road. Back when they were in League 1 or League 2, whatever the fuck it was back in those days, they did used to fill their stadium, and they had a really good hardcore group of fans. Now, just seems to me like they're spoiled little shits that couldn't be arsed going to games against the likes of Cardiff. Is it that fair? Because, they're never there anyway. Who am I on about? Manchester City, David. That's who I'm on about. Southampton are in really good form at the minute, which they are, but let's not forget Danny Ings can't play for them. Danny Ings unavailable due to the loan rules around the fact that Liverpool have him on a loan to buy there or at Southampton. Hope we thrash Southampton 4 or 5-1. Honestly, I think we will. No joke, said Scotty. I thought most people I support Manchester City more in Manchester. Is that what you're trying to say? Most people in Manchester support City? Apparently not. Either that or they just couldn't be arsed going out and watching it. They'd rather watch it on telly. Love the title of the stream, Craig. Thank you very much. But that's completely down to Connor. I couldn't even tell you at this moment in time what the title of the stream is. That would take the better... What would that... Take That would have better fans than the Etihad than City, said Liverpool 5 times. Did you hear the news that Salah will cost us a title? Is that the bullshit thing coming from that fucking has-been over in America? Steve Nicol? Is that what you're talking about, Mossy? We spoke a little bit about it last night. If that is indeed, buddy, what you're talking about, Steve Nicol shiting on about cost. Fuck off, Nicol. Nobody cares. You're not relevant anymore. My mate who's a real City fan says he'd rather be like the old days. It's not the club he started supporting. Which, do you know what? I know some City fans. They wouldn't be of my generation. They'd be a generation above me. But I do know City fans who have been around through those times. I would class as real, proper football fans, mate. So I get where you're coming from. It doesn't seem like the same club. Warren says, massive game, mate. Every game is huge. Come on, you red men. Guys, let's go through tomorrow night. I've had my bitching about Manchester City now. I've got it out of the way. We'll also take a moment later on in the stream to have a little laugh at Manchester United, who were in 6th place. We'll come to that a little bit later on. But look, on this, let's go to the team selection for Friday night's game. What I've gone with is, as always, just a guess. And as always, it's a midfield guess, because everything else pretty much picks itself. Back four, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip and Andy Robertson. In midfield, I've gone for Fabinho, Gini Wijnaldum and James Milner. I know I'm going to get people saying I want Naby Keita to play. I know I'm going to get people saying I want Shaqiri to play, Henderson to play. I understand it all, as I say every single week, guys. It's just difficult to pick what midfield Jurgen Klopp is going to go with. And for me, I've gone Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Milner. And then obviously up front, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino and Mohamed Salah. And that's it. That's for me. I've gone with a 3-1 score prediction as well. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Southampton are going to come and have a go. I don't think they're going to sit back. And I think that might play into our hands. It's going to be fun though. I'm interested to see how Friday night... I know we played on Friday a while back, but I'm interested to see if I can warm to this Friday night thing. And I'd love to know how you guys feel about Friday night football as well. City's transfer fee is 300 million more than Liverpool's. Yeah, but they'll say we spent more money than them last summer, AJ, which is true. I mean, credit where that is true. We did spend more money than them. It doesn't matter that we brought in a shitload of money. Nobody mentions that when you just talk about expenditure. United not going to make top 4, said Expisto. Top 4 as it stands off the top of my head now with Manchester City winning. Manchester City, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, United. I think that's the top 6 actually, if memory serves. Saints can rarely score in the best of days, let alone against a defence like ours, said Brian Morrissey. My score prediction, Brian, you know the score by now, pal. I always go for playing away. I always give the home team 1 just so I don't feel like a git. Cape Town Muslim said, I think Southampton will have extra motivation because we raided like 7 of their players. See, people say raided. I had this conversation with Connor actually yesterday. People talk about us raiding raiding Southampton. We pay them handsomely for every single one of those players. I mean, at the time, I think we paid market value or above market value for every single player that we took from Southampton. So I don't think they can really have any gripe with us, because it's not like we came in and fucked them over. I mean, yes, we did take their players, but we paid them well for them. So, I mean, I can understand Southampton fans having a gripe with Liverpool, but at the same time, the gripe should also be with their own board for selling. City of no history, said Rory. I just can't believe how empty the Etihad was. Shameful. I know we talk about it and we joke about it, Kev, and we have fun about it, but I mean, it is a team going for an unprecedented possible quadruple, and 30-35% of the stadium is empty. Now, obviously, the 30-35% is a guesstimation from me, but I mean, I don't think I'm too far off. Although, you'll get some ridiculous amount, some ridiculous attendance that will say it was fucking 97% full or something. Team Sherwood said Manchester City are leagues above Liverpool. I think I'm fucking dim Sherwood would need to look at the league table and realise that they're 1 point above Liverpool. Tim, you absolute fucking clown. Can't even. What's the job he's begging for at the minute? Not Oldham. Who is it that he's begging to manage? Not Q. Is it QPR? QPR. That's who. That's who. What's his face? Former England manager Steve McLaren. He was booted out of QPR recently, wasn't he? Why the fuck would you get Tim Sherwood? He is an absolute gobshite. You've seen how bad his managerial career was. Actually, Tim Sherwood's managerial career, I remember seeing the statistics on Sky. For the 2 or 3 clubs he's been at, I think he's lost more than 50% of the games, or around 50% of the games that he's managed at managerial level. And one of those was a club like Spurs, who are a decent club. So fuck Tim Sherwood. He can keep his opinions to himself. Nobody gives a shit. Will you be supporting United versus City? Yes, I will. I'm not even going to lie about it, mate. Of course I will. And I expect every single Liverpool fan around the world to do the same, because how could you not want Manchester United to take points off City? Unless, of course, City lose their next 2 games, in which case I don't give a shit what happens there, to be fair. It's really annoying how the media is portraying a hatred of Liverpool, but anyone I speak to is neutral. Really respect us, said Liverpool 5 times. Glad you agree Steve Nicol does talk shit. He's just trying to become relevant again, mate. I think maybe he feels that over there in the States, he needs to hype things up a little bit, or I don't know, maybe he thinks he's bigger than I don't know. As a player, brilliant, absolutely phenomenal servant to Liverpool Football Club, but as a pundit, he does talk a lot of shit, to be fair. Hey Craig, how are you today? Have I missed anything? Not really, Joshua, nothing major, mate. Just warming into the stream. I've already had my rant, so that's all good. Craig Weston's gone. Alisson, Trent, VVD, Robbo, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Milner, Salah, Mane, Firmino. I think you've gone for the same as me, buddy, which is good. What else have we got? Ole is Tim Sherwood Part 2, or Ollie, sorry, is Tim Sherwood Part 2. Ronnie Galloway said, I pray the Lord will beat Southampton. It's so important to pressure the oil club. They really are a joke. Fake fans, fake club, owned by a prince. A sheikh, I think. I don't know if they're the same thing, sheikh, prince, I'm not sure. It is massively important, mate. It really is. It's a huge game on Friday night. A huge game. And normally you'd look at it away at Southampton and think, yeah, we'd fancy it, but Southampton are fighting for their lives as well. Now, they're in a decent position at the minute. They've got a couple of points buffer, I believe, on the bottom 3. And there's only 1 place left in that bottom 3, because, Fulham gone, Huddersfield gone, so there's only 1 relegation spot left. I hope we do it. I fancy us to do it. Friday night, down in Southampton. Really looking forward to it. Don't forget, we'll be doing a live watch along of that one as always, so I hope you can join us for that. Hey Baldy, looking good, said Dr. Gee. Right back at you, pal. Even though I can't see you, I imagine you're looking fresh. So right back at you. Kate said, hey Craig, can I have a shout out? Of course you can, Kate. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday and a wonderful week, and thank you for joining us. Tim, I shoot from the hip, Sherwood, said Liam Kelt. Yeah, I could call him a Tim, I something, a few fucking things, mate, but I'll hold my tongue on this one. He took Villa from decent top 8 team to relegation, said Boya. Tim Sherwood's a Premier League winning captain. And what's your fucking point, mate? I don't get what your point is. Jimmy Traore is a fucking Champions League winner. Does that mean I'm going to say everything Jimmy Traore says is gospel and that I can't call Tim Sherwood a fucking idiot? I'm not talking about his football ability. I'm talking about his managerial ability, mate. His footballing ability has fuck all to do with his managerial ability. He won the Premier League. Whoop-de-doo. He won it with Blackburn under Kenny Dalglish. Good for Tim Sherwood, but I don't understand how this has any relevance at all to do what we're talking about here. Tim Sherwood is a fucking dickhead, in my opinion. There you go. You call him a Premier League winning captain. That's your opinion. Well, it's not your opinion. That's a fact. Sorry, that is a fact. Not sure what relevance it has, as I've said, Saul, but to me, he's a dickhead. I don't like him. Tim Sherwood did manage Aston Villa. They beat Liverpool in 2015 FA Cup semi-final. Yeah. And I had fucking tickets sorted for the final as well, the bastards. But look, that wasn't him. That was our own performance that day. Craig, will you wear a United jersey when they play City? Will I wear a United jersey when they play City? Yeah, no, mate. That's not going to happen. The only time I'll ever do anything like that is if it comes down to a charity thing and I lose a bet. If it's for charity, I will do literally anything. But just for the shits and giggles, no. Absolutely not, my friend. Hey, Craig, hope you're well. Said Ellie or Eli, excuse me. I always get that name. Is it Eli or Ellie? Can you correct me on that one? So is it like pronounced with a Y at the end or an IE kind of sounding? Sherwood's a joke, nothing more, nothing less. A fool with a platform, said Brian Morrissey. What's your guess for the next 3 City games in the Premier League? Hand on heart, the walking gamer. I can't tell you City's next 3 fixtures off the top of my head. So if you want to put them in, I'll give them a bash. But what I can tell you, and I spoke again to Connor about this earlier on, is the games that I see Manchester City possibly dropping points in would be obviously Spurs, Manchester United, and don't they have Palace as well? They would be what I would consider trickier games for them. Or have I got it wrong with Palace? I'm sure they do have to play Palace. Oh, they do. Look, there you go. City also have to go to Palace, which is always a tough game. So it's one of those games that I would see possibly as where they might drop points. I never expected them to drop points against Fulham. I never expected them to drop points against Cardiff tonight. Yeah, that's if they had of great, it's a bonus. But I think you're going to see the pressure ramp up on Manchester City over the course of this month. It's going to ramp up in the media. It's going to ramp up in the dressing room. They're going to have some real tough times and tough tests ahead of them. Let's not forget they have Spurs 3 times over the course of a week and a half or something like that, or 2 weeks. They've got Manchester United as well. They've got an FA Cup semi-final, possibly an FA Cup final. Lots and lots of games coming up for them. Something will give. They will fuck up at some point. I can't stand Tim Sherwood, he's so bitter, said Ella. I'm from Gorey and Wexford, said Wayne. You could probably hit my gaff with a stone then, mate, if that's the case. You could probably hit my house with a stone. Maybe you have hit my house with a stone already, Wayne, I don't know. I played Alana instead of Milner. Let's test the defence, said Liam. Oh, did he get death as well, mate, if he was playing? The Southampton fans would give him absolute dog's abuse. The Southampton manager Hassan Hootel is the Alpine Klopp. That's what they call him. He must be good. He's done a decent job, to be fair, since he's gone into Southampton. Didn't know too much about him before that. Didn't he manage Salzburg, I think? Other than that, I don't know too much about him. Liverpool fan 9 thinks 3-1 to us as well. Crystal Palace, Spurs, Manchester United. Games that they might drop points in, said Mossy Kyo. Or maybe that's their next 3 games, actually. I don't know. Sorry, maybe that's the 3 games. But either way, I think they're the 3 that's dodgy for them. Tony said, Craig, missed a few of your streams. Well done on reaching 10k and beyond, mate. Up the red men for Friday. Thank you, Tony. Really, really kind of you, mate, to say that. And never were we apologise for missing any streams. Not that you did, actually, on that occasion. Some people do, though, and I always go, you don't owe us anything. We appreciate you guys coming in and watching. But yeah, mate, Friday, massive game. Massive game, Tony. Let's hope Brighton take them to extra time and give them a kicking in the FA Cup, said Graham. Leicester being linked to Jack Grealish, said Boya. I don't know, mate. There's a player in there. there's a player in there, and you know, Rodgers is not bad about getting the best out of younger players. So I don't know, mate. It's not the worst in the world if it was to happen for you. Looks like Spurs is the only team that's going to trouble City. Hopefully we need one draw, so Cape Town Muslim. But let's not forget United as well, mate. The matches are piling up for Manchester City, said Rafa the Gaffer. You think Sherwood would have more respect for us? The man who made him is the greatest figure in LFC history. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, and I don't even know where Tim Sherwood is from. I don't know where he was born, where he was bred. But sometimes I do feel like there are certain sections of the UK that just dislike the North. And he may be from the North. I just get the feeling he's from London. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. What else have we got? Good news, actually. A little bit of good news. Jurgen Klopp's confirmed that VVD has trained and will be available for Friday night. So that's a massive boost, because I know a lot of people, myself included, were a little bit worried when they seen the strapping on Virgil van Dijk's ankle after the game against Spurs. But it looks like he's tickety-boo and he should be sound to go on Friday, which is a big bonus, because you want your strongest team possible available for a massive away game like this. Kieran said, I wish Spurs are playing City at home for confidence with the new stadium. Palace can perform against big clubs, said Rory, and they won't make it easy. That's one thing you will be guaranteed of. Going down to Crystal Palace away from home. Yes, Manchester City are capable of going there and winning, but Palace won't roll over for them like other teams have and have their belly tickled. Palace will have a go. Fabinho's a game changer, said William Rogers. He's amazing, mate. He's had a tremendous season so far. Brian Morris, he said, hi, my name is Craig Holden and I wear Mark Goldbridge pyjamas when I go to Tesco. Well, that's clearly bullshit, mate, and let me tell you why. You're not allowed to wear pyjamas in Tesco. There's actually a fucking sign, or there was a sign in the Tesco down here in Gorey saying no pyjamas allowed. Because it was a thing and people were wearing fucking pyjamas to Tesco. So there you go. But thank you for the super chat, mate. Wasted comment on it, but thank you for the super chat. Any news on Oxlade-Chamberlain, asks Wayne. Not really, buddy. Just write him off for the season is the best advice I can give. If we get a few minutes out of him here or there, that's going to be a massive bonus. But it's looking like he'll be eased back in very gradually. He'll get some more on the 23s appearances and maybe a couple of minutes towards the end of the season. But I think really it's about getting him ready for next season. Neil said, I have a gut feeling... no, I'm going to start that one again. I've got a gut feeling Lovren will start. Possibly. I mean, I just don't feel that Matip deserves to be dropped, if you get me, Neil. I think he's... I would suggest we may see Matip and then we may see Lovren on Tuesday in the Champions League. But that's just something that popped into my head there, actually, when I read your comment. But, you know, either way, mate, I could understand. Let's start every player we signed from Southampton and piss the Southampton fans off. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Piss them off and get them right up our backs. I reckon we'll have a boring game against Southampton with a 2-0 win. Lewis, nothing wrong with a boring 2-0 win, pal. I'll take it every day of the week. Who would you take back? Sterling, Coutinho or Suarez? Sterling. If we're talking about from a footballing perspective, taking their ages into consideration right now, Raheem Sterling, and I don't see why anybody would say anything different. Suarez loved him, but he's getting on in his career. He's getting into the twilight of his career. Coutinho, yeah, you can make an argument for Coutinho, but look, Sterling has progressed and has turned into, I would say, after Virgil van Dijk, the leading candidate for player of the season this season. And as I've said before, I have a begrudging respect for Sterling, because of course I wasn't happy with the way he left Liverpool, and of course I wasn't happy that he went to Manchester City. But he's developed fantastically as a young man, and he's turning into a good role model for young footballers. I like the way he's standing up for what he believes in, and his game has come on. So for me, the answer would be Raheem Sterling, but it would be tough, because as I said, I'm quite bitter when it comes to players leaving. Cape Town Muslim said, United shit at Old Trafford lately, no faith in them helping us out. You're forgetting though, buddy, they're 6th and they're in a fight for top 4 and they want Champions League football and they need Champions League football, so they will go 100% at it to try and get something. That's why I'm keeping some faith in that game, I suppose, but I can completely understand where you're coming from as well. What else have we got? 3-0 or 3-1 for DZB. Hello, mate. Hello to Glasgow, I should say, because we always like to introduce you from Glasgow. Hopefully it's not a heart attack material on Friday night. I have a hospital appointment on Monday. Very worried about it. Positive vibes. Absolutely positive vibes, Ronnie. Mate, lots of love to you. I hope the appointment goes well. And please do let us know, because we'll be thinking of you, pal. You're one of us. We love you. And let us know how you get on to the hospital on Monday. Of course, if you don't want to and keep it to yourself, mate, by all means. Sorry, I didn't mean to put pressure on you. Craig, do you go to the Loch Garment to watch Liverpool games? Because I do. Mate, you won't believe me when I tell you that I've lived in this town now for almost 8 years. I think it's just about 8 years. And I've been in one pub in the town once in 8 years. So I don't go to the Loch Garment. I heard they did a comedy night down there at one point. I don't know if it's still going, but I don't, buddy, I don't. But hopefully someday we'll be able to fill out the Gory Little Theatre and do a live show down here and bring over a legend or two, because that I very much want to do in my hometown, buddy. VVD was in training, said Mossy. Kiar was in goal in training. Do you know what? He's probably fucking boss in goal as well. He's probably brilliant wherever he plays. Does Adam Bogdan still play for Liverpool? Technically, yes. Well, he's contracted to Liverpool till the end of the season. He was on loan at Hibs. I think he picked up an injury. I'm not sure if he's back at Melwood to recover. But he won't be a Liverpool player come the end of June, I think, or May. Whatever the contract is up. I think it's June. He sounds like a Cockney. All I know for sure is that he shoots from the hip, said Liam Kelt. He's our captain, he's a centre half, he's our number 4. Oh mate, you so want to sing that song now, but again, nobody wants to hear me singing. Craig, Tim Sherwood is from Boreham Wood, Hertfordshire. Is that Greater London or Greater London area? Excuse my lack of English geography knowledge. Hertfordshire, I think, is that outside Greater London area or that neck of the woods, or am I a mile off? Bowls striker Ali Regab, I think, is set to join Leicester in the summer. There you go, boy. There's one for you to keep an eye out for. Thank you for that, Ella. Ella, I know, is a Bowls fan. You've told me before. You go to Aldi. Yeah, of course I fucking go to Aldi. Go to Aldi, go to Lidl, go to Tesco, go to Dunnes Stores, Super Value, mate. I'm fucking man of the world, me. Shopping all the shops. Anywhere that's cheap, pal, you'll see my ass in there trying to find shit. Craig, Lidl or Teach? I think you meant Tesco. I'll probably be in Tesco more, to be fair. I'm lucky the town I live in has a Tesco and Aldi, a Lidl, a Gory, or a Tesco and Aldi, a Lidl, an Iceland, a Super Value, and is there another one? And a Dunnes Stores, yeah. So we're spoiled here in this little town I live in with 6 supermarkets. That's why I go to my local Lidl, says Ninja MC. Where's this Lidl and Aldi shit coming from? Did I miss a comment here? Oh, to go to Tesco, the pyjamas. Craig, get your shit together, come on. Yeah, I've nearly walked out of the gaff with my pyjama bottoms loads of times and then realised that I was wearing them. Not going to lie. Good to hear about VVD, said Joanne. It most certainly is. It's it's always good news to hear that one of your star players is available. I'm not going to lie, I think all of our hearts skipped a little beat when Van Dijk had that taping or bandaging or ice pack or whatever it was around his ankle. I hate City, said Red Hulk. I mean, I'm with you on every single word of that sentence, mate. United about to lose Herrera, Pogba, De Gea, and don't forget Mata, by the way, Expisto as well. It looks like Mata could be going. I think his contract is up. De Gea wants 350 grand a week, and when you see what they're paying Sanchez, you can understand why De Gea, who has been Manchester United's most consistent performer over the last God knows many years, 3, 4, 5 years, you can see why he wants parity with somebody who's doing fuck all for the club. Pogba seems like he wants to go play for Zinedine Zidane. I don't know. Herrera, I know there has been talks to him to go to PSG, I think, and Mata to Barcelona. Would you be surprised if the club's okayed it in the summer, Craig? It's fair to say he hasn't done it this season. Nothing really surprises me in football anymore, mate, but I would be more surprised to an extent that Kloppo draws a line under a player that he's brought in. I mean, we had a conversation the other day about this very subject, And people were talking about the articles that were on in the media about perhaps Liverpool selling him to Bayern Munich or to RB Leipzig. No, it was Bayern Munich or Dortmund. Sorry, Bayern Munich or Dortmund for 40 million quid, taking around a 10-12 million pound loss. I don't think so. I just don't think Jurgen Klopp is ready to write off a player that young with that much potential that we've seen do it in another league. I think he'll get next season and try and settle in. But as I said, mate, nothing can surprise you in football these days because it's a cutthroat business. Craig, of course you want to win the title, but the only thing you can ask for in football is to be challenging anything more as a bonus. 100%, AJ. At the start of this season, I remember, you can probably go back and watch a previous stream, but I'm 99% sure that I said, you just want to be in the conversation in April and May, and we're in the conversation. We're in the conversation for the Premier League, we're in the conversation for the Champions League. And whilst it would be tough to go through another season being close and not quite getting over the line, I have a feeling we'll do something this year. I really have a good feeling that we're getting silverware this season. And I don't want to put myself out there and say I think it'll be the Premier League or I think it'll be the Champions League. I think it's more likely to be the Premier League because I think City will drop some points. But again, I said a couple of weeks ago, the Spurs game and this game coming up on Friday I think are massive. If we get through those two games, pressure back onto Manchester City then and the ball's in their court. Ted said Matip hasn't really put a foot wrong. I can't disagree, mate. I think he's been very good since he's come in to fill in. Adam Parks said I think Matip deserves to play. People from the Halton site in Limerick wear their pyjamas and slippers to Tesco at the car park and Saturday for a pint of milk. Doesn't surprise me. Nothing to do with Limerick or a Halton site. I mean, it just doesn't surprise me that people are wearing pyjamas to a supermarket. I live across from a Dunnes, said Sock. There you go. Shout out to Dunnes Stores. You and your PJs. I'm wearing my pyjama bottoms now. Defo, yeah. Not even gonna lie, sitting here in pyjama bottoms. Hey Craig, how are you doing? Good to see you again. Very good, mate. Thank you. Hope you're doing well as well, Dylan. Thank you for joining us. And M&S don't have a Marks and Spencer's. Unfortunately, no more Marks and Spencer's. Well, there's a few in Ireland, but not many. Craig, did you see VVD booting the ball out of the stadium after the last minute goal? Yeah, somebody, I seen it on Sky Sports. I seen the little video that they had that somebody that put up on Twitter. Fair fucks to him. I don't know if it was celebratory. I don't know if he was trying to waste time, but either way, I love a bit of shithousery, so I'm all for Van Dijk doing that. Harry Maguire's child was born today, 9 months after the World Cup final. Nice. Obviously a bit of celebrating going on there, why not? In my country we don't have Tesco. Do you have Carrefour, mate? I'm not sure where you're living, mate, but if you have Carrefour I think it's the same thing. You think we'll concede against Southampton? Yeah, I honestly think my 3-1 score prediction this time might actually be right, Will. Yeah, I do think we may actually concede. But I think we'll win, and I think that's the most important. Craig Weston said Keita is potentially world class and fans want him out because he hasn't performed as of yet. Blows my mind. I'm sort of the same. I'm disappointed. I can't lie. I'm disappointed about this season for Naby Keita because in my head I built him up so much into being this destroyer in midfield that had a bit of shithousery in him, that liked the card, that liked to put a foot in, that knew where the goal was. But we just haven't seen it yet, and I'm not willing to write him off because I know some players take longer to settle than others, and we've seen numerous examples of this in football history, so I'm definitely willing to give him another season before I even start to think about making my mind up on him. Ronnie said, thanks pal, I enjoy your nightly streams. It's to remove my gallbladder and I suffer from anxiety which makes me very nervous about this operation. I've actually a bit of a story on gallbladders, Ronnie. I told you guys before that I was misdiagnosed with chlamydia. People are going to go, so what now? What now? What was that, Craig? I've told the story before. I had shooting pains for ages in my back and side, and I was misdiagnosed with chlamydia, and then I was eventually diagnosed correctly as having gallstones. So I know where you're coming from, Ronnie, and as somebody who suffers with anxiety myself, the story that I'm talking about anyway is I was in the operating ward ready to go down, and the anaesthetist came, oh that was tough to say, the anaesthetist came down to talk to me just to make sure I was okay, to talk through the operation and everything that was going to happen. And I remember the anaesthetist said, we want you to be, calm, relaxed before the operation. So I'm not sure if you'd be willing to, but would you take these Anxicam Valium? And no sooner had he put his hand out, pal, than I'd swallowed them motherfuckers. And I remember being about 40 minutes later, they kicked in. Half an hour, 40 minutes later, they kicked in before I was going out for the operation, man. And I was only sort of singing, we jamming. I hope you like jamming too. I mean, I was so fucking chill going out for that operation. So, and I haven't had any pain since. So what I will say is, mate, gallbladder surgery these days is a lot better than it used to be. But I still hope it goes well for you. Luke, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Thank you for saying hello. Is Bertrand trying to talk himself up? Yeah, he's trying to say, look, you got to back yourself, so we understand to a degree where he's coming from, but he's trying to say that he's going to try exploit weaknesses in Mohamed Salah's game. Yeah, best of luck with that, Ryan. Best of luck, mate. Karius or SpongeBob? Neither. I can't. Who's better? Probably Mignolet would be a little bit more reliable, I would guess, Ted, but neither is good enough to play for us, to be honest. On the Reds, Craig the legend. Thank you, mate. Welcome. Craig has chlamydia, pass it on. Well, there's definitely a joke in there about passing chlamydia on, mate. LFC 333, talk to you soon, pal. What was that made? Chlamydia, what's that? Sounds like one of my ex-girlfriends. It's an STI, pal, which I've never had, by the way. As I say, misdiagnosed. Yeah, there you go. Do you see United challenging for the title next season? Not a fucking chance of that happening, mate. Not a fucking hope are Manchester United going to be challenging for the title next season. There are 2 or 3 seasons of rebuilding away for being back up there. Don't let all this pomp and circumstance fool you, and this little bit of a revitalisation under Ole. It's not happening. There's stuff going on there that needs to be sorted out badly. Manchester United have bought poorly for years now. They need to bring in a director of football. The director of football needs to establish a style of football right through. Manchester United under Alex Ferguson had that style of football. You knew what Manchester United were about. I think Manchester United have big problems there, much like Real Madrid, that they're trying to paper over the cracks with money. And I don't mean money as in buying shit tons of players, because their approach has been scattergun with transfers. I mean just the fact that they're in a healthy position. I just think there's a big rebuilding job needs to be done there, and I think it's going to take 2-3 years before, and maybe longer, before United are really back at the top, and they need to spend more wisely and better. And it's fucking great, and I'm enjoying every damn minute of it, because I wish the club burned to the ground. That's how much I despise Manchester United. I know I've had lukewarmer feelings towards them. I suppose when a club is shit, you kind of hate them a little bit less, but then when Solskjaer came back and their fans thought they were good again, and they start piping up and getting above their station. Some of them, I mean, there's some really sound United fans as well. It's good to just have them reminded that, you're shit at the moment. Like, let's be fair, you're 6th. Might get top 4, might do it. Definitely in the realms of possibility, but Ollie's a fraud, and he's not the one. It was the wrong choice. I was sitting back hoping that they were fucking stupid enough to give him a long-term deal. They should have waited till the end of the season, because if they're bringing in a director of football or a sporting director or whatever the hell it's called these days, that person, along with Ed Woodward and the hierarchy of the club, are going to be who's responsible for bringing in players and the transfer policy of Manchester United. So they could have waited for Solskjaer. They could have waited till the end of the season. I think it was a silly mistake, and I'm delighted they made it. And I think next season, I actually, he may not even fucking last next season. I don't know. I think he's too tactically naive, and his managerial experience is too limited to be managing a club the size of Manchester United. I just don't see it. Craig, did you see the prank goals Robertson did on Ryan Brewster? I did. I'm not a fan of April Fool's jokes in general, because a lot of them are cringy, but it wasn't bad. Give me the drugs, all of them, thanks, said Ronnie. That was pretty much what I was like. Would you mind taking these? Gone. Yes, please, thank you. What were they again? Who do I think City will lose points to? United. Maybe Palace, maybe Spurs, but I would say more likely United. But, we can but hope, and it isn't in our hands. It's in Manchester City's hands at the moment, and that's down to us. Too many draws. But look, I still find it very hard to be critical of this team when we're on track to break 94, 95, 96 points this season. How can you be critical of a team that are doing that? Like, it's ridiculous. It was a joke. I know what chlamydia is. I'm 25, not 10. Okay, fair enough. No need to get shitty about it, pal. I was just explaining what it was, because maybe there were other people watching that didn't know what it was. And I don't know what age you are. You could have been 10, and I was just trying to explain it, pal. Do you think Cardiff are now going down? I would say so. And it's a tough circumstance, because I don't like Neil Warnock. I don't like him at all. I don't like the owner of Manchester, or not Manchester. Well, I fucking don't like the owner of Manchester City, but I don't like the owner of Cardiff. But the club has been through a very, very tough time this year. And the fans have been brilliant, so it'll be difficult to see them go down, but unfortunately I do think they will. City will lose to Tottenham United. Craig, why do you think Klopp doesn't let Shaqiri play? My gut instinct, and this is just my gut instinct, Yusuf, this is not based on anything other than me putting 2 and 2 together and possibly making 7. I don't think he trusts him. I don't think he trusts him tactically. I don't think he trusts him to defend when he needs to defend. We all know that he has moments of brilliance in him, but I just don't think Jurgen Klopp trusts him. And I understood exactly why we bought him. It was a gamble 100% worth taking. If he worked out, it was brilliant. If he doesn't work out, you will move him on and make a profit on him. So for me, it was a move worth taking. But I think he's also been unfortunate, because it was supposed to be Fekir and Shaqiri. It wasn't supposed to be Shaqiri. And then I think there would have been less pressure on Shaqiri. As it stands, there's a massive gaping hole in that Liverpool team for a 10. And Shaqiri, whilst having a bright start, hasn't seemed to lived up to what we'd all hoped was going to be the solution to our number 10, or a cheap solution to that number 10. But I don't think he's good enough long term. Happy to have him in the squad, but he's not somebody that I want in a starting Liverpool 11 in a big game. But hey, that's just my opinion. Just watch VVD kicking the ball out of the stadium. Definitely shithousery. I do love it. I fucking love it, mate. Not easy to get it over that new main stand as well. What's your opinion on Henderson, Craig? I think he's pony. Fabinho should be in before him. How I agree that Fabinho should play before him. I don't think he's pony, as you've called it, and I do like the use of the word pony there. I think he's a very good professional that isn't appreciated in a lot of ways, but also isn't a 6. I don't think he's dynamic enough to play in a 6 in this team the way we need a 6 to be. I think Jordan Henderson is an 8. He's a central midfielder. So for that, I think he's been a little bit unlucky in that he's had to not shoehorn himself into a position he's not fully capable of playing to the highest of his abilities. I just think you look at Fabinho and you see his natural defensive ability. You can see him able to step forward as well with a pass. He's definitely a better 6. I think that's a fair comment to make. I just don't agree with anybody who says Henderson's shit. It's just not true. You don't get to play at the level that you're at. Captain your country for a time, be spoken about highly by Steven Gerrard, Brendan Rodgers, Jurgen Klopp, Kenny Dalglish, and be shit. I just don't buy it. He is not shit. He might not be the swashbuckling regista that we'd all wanted, but he's a good footballer and he's a good captain of this football club, and I have nothing but respect for Jordan Henderson. Are you a fan of signing players on a free but giving them much higher wages? No, I'm not. I'd rather see the transfer fee given to the player and them to be on the same wage as everybody else. But I know maybe it works out better from a tax point of view for not to give them a lump sum. I don't know. But either way, it's a tough one, because if you've got, like, if you're a club like Spurs, for instance, and you have a wage structure, and that opportunity is there maybe to bring in, let's just say, for instance, Gareth Bale was on a free. I know he isn't, but let's just say Gareth Bale was on a free, and Spurs could look at him and think, oh, there's no transfer fee involved there, but we might have to give him £500,000 a week. I can understand why it would be tempting, but all in all, no, I wouldn't be. There is one or two exceptions. I mean, sometimes in life a player might walk out on a free and you might think, oh, just fucking do it. Just do it. Like, if it's an exceptional situation where the player just purposely ran down his contract because he wanted out, maybe. But yeah, all in all, I'd say no. Ollie's at the wheel. Yeah, tell me, how does the Europa League feel, bitches? Ollie's at the wheel. I think United will be destroyed by City 4-1. They might do it, but I still feel Spurs have the best chance. Craig, I hate United, at least have respect for them in contrast to you-know-who. Exactly, and that's exactly how I feel as well, mate. I hate Manchester United. I hate them with a passion, but I have a respect for them. I have a begrudging respect for their club, their history, their fans, the style of football that they've played over the years. Everything. I have a begrudging respect for Manchester United, and I know Manchester United fans have the same towards Liverpool. Manchester City are just a bunch of upstarts with no class, and that's how I see it. Craig, would you get a Solskjaer tattoo if it meant Liverpool won the league? No, I wouldn't, mate. I'd never ever fucking harm my body with that pixie looking little motherfucker. It's just not gonna happen. I wouldn't do it for charity either. I mean, you're talking about scarring my body there. Yes, I have a shit ton of tattoos already, and yes, I have had cover-ups done, but no way I'm getting fucking Solskjaer or United tattooed on my body, mate. It's just not happening. Was Sanchez free? Didn't they swap Mkhitaryan? Yes, but Sanchez was going on a free anyway, so it was a ridiculous deal all around, to be fair. I mean, Arsenal probably couldn't believe their fucking luck when they got Mkhitaryan for somebody who they were losing on a free. It's madness. Not that Mkhitaryan has worked out brilliantly for Arsenal, but at the same time, they were going to lose Sanchez for nothing in the summer. Chelsea are hit and miss, which, yes, they are. I just hope they miss when they show up at Anfield. Shaqiri hasn't played because he has had a swollen groin issue. He's had a few, John. He's had, what was the issue, Rafa? Or not Rafa, what's the issue Kloppo said he had? An abductor injury at one point, I think. An abductor muscle injury. And then there was something about a back injury after falling during the game after winning a header. Imagine thrashing City in a Champions League final, said Ted. Yeah. Be nice, wouldn't it? Be nice. I'd rather beat them with a shithouse goal that they can complain about for the next 20 years, mate, to be honest. Something really fucking controversial just to annoy them. That would be sweeter. I think Shaqiri has been carrying an injury, hasn't been publicised as much, said Jay Kismet. Hey Craig, just got into the stream. Welcome, buddy. And again, thank you. We've had some more people sign up to Patreon over the past 24 hours, so thank you to those people as well. It really does help keep the channel ticking along, so we appreciate everybody's help on that one. And for anyone that wants to know about it, the link is there. It's patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. Go and have a look at it, see if it's for you. If it's not, hey, that's all good as well. You'll still be in here and everything's still going to be free. Got to get off and get some sleep. Speak to you tomorrow, said Joshua. Thank you, mate. Take care. Hope you're well. Henderson was mentioned in Ferguson's biography. Must be good if that Scottish drunk took the time to talk about him. I think he talked about him from the fact that he passed on him because he didn't like the style of his gait and the way he ran, if memory serves correct. Although I didn't read Ferguson's autobiography, but I think that's what was mentioned in it. Henderson is the spirit of a top footballer and is probably the best passer of the ball at that club. Doesn't stamp his authority on the game as much as he could do because he has that fire. Actually, there's something I wanted to mention. I know it's not Premier League related, but it's something that popped up in the past 48 hours. I think Roberto mentioned it yesterday. Leonardo Bonucci needs to shut the fuck up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Keane was racially abused for Juventus during their win over Cagliari. And I don't know what the fuck was going through Bonucci's head, but he came out and said that Keane should take 50% of the blame for provoking the crowd. The man was being racially abused and he scores and he fucking celebrates. And his teammate, Bonucci, who should know better. Bonucci's an intelligent man. I believe he has a degree in everything. I think a degree in law, I think, maybe Bonucci, if memory serves. What the fuck is he at? What is he at? Get behind your man. He's been racially abused by scum. Scum inside the stadium. How can you say that that man has to take 1% of the responsibility, let alone 50? The man has a right to go about his fucking business without being harassed and without being racially abused by morons in the stadium. I mean, that's not what we need. That is not what we need from a professional footballer at a time when we've seen too many instances of this in the game, when we've seen Raheem Sterling be racially abused, we've seen Aubameyang be racially abused, when we've seen Keane there be racially abused. That is not what we need. We need fellow professional to these players to be standing up and backing their fucking teammates. What was he at? Can anybody explain this to me? Have I missed something here? I cannot believe Bonucci came out with that. I just cannot believe it. I just don't get it. I don't get it, folks. Solskjaer looks like Gollum. There's only one Gollum, mate. There's only one Gollum. He's already managed United as well, but there's only one Gollum. He does look like a pixie, though. He looks like one of Santa's rejected elves. That's what he looks like to me. A Santa elf reject. Shaqiri will never be part of Liverpool being properly successful. He's top 6 but not elite, said Brian. Liam said, don't know if you all know the Premier League have blocked streaming Premier League games, so anybody watches them on a Fire Stick or anything, just wanted to give you a heads up. How have they managed to do that one? I don't know how they've managed to do that, Liam. Because the way... I can't really talk about this on a stream, actually. Sorry, I can't. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. Martin said, late on the stream, sorry for puking my ring up since about 7:40. Haven't seen antics before the Spurs game in the new stadium. I did see it, and look, to be fair to Spurs, that's a magnificent stadium. They should be very, very proud of that stadium. I wouldn't mind going and visiting it, actually, and seeing a game there. It looks magnificent. Whatever happened beforehand, I don't know, whatever, leave them to it, but it is a great stadium, and well done to Daniel Levy, the Spurs board, and it's a good move for the club, and it's the right way of going about things, and I like to give credit where it's due to clubs who try to do things in the right way, and I think Spurs have been very clever there. Daily Vanda said, Bonucci's a terrible captain and teammate, needs to be stepped down. Racism is strong in Italy, very strong. Yeah, we've seen numerous players in Italy this season. I think Koulibaly as well, if memory serves, was racially abused. And I think there was more. I mean, didn't Inter maybe have to play a game behind closed doors or something because of racism? Sturridge posted on Instagram saying he stands with Sterling and that Juventus lad. Absolutely, as do I, and as do, I'm sure, every single one of you people in the chat tonight. We all stand behind these players who are being racially abused because there's no place for it in our sport. These are men going about their business, heroes to so many of us in the way they go about their business, idolised by people around the world. And the fact that people inside the stadium want to abuse these people because of the colour of their skin, just because they're getting the better of their team, because they're better players than the players that they have with their team, it's sickening, and these people need to grow the fuck up. I mean, I don't get it. Call him a shithouse, tell him he's shit, banter him in another way, but do not ever judge somebody on their sexual orientation, the colour of their skin, their religion, their nationality. Fuck off. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm sick of talking about this on streams, but you know, it keeps coming up. What else we got? Fabinho and Lallana to start against Southampton, to Jim Robertson. Fulham spent 100 million and got relegated. Can't feel sorry for them. I think it was 105 if memory serves, and they're the first promoted club to ever break the £100 million spending barrier. And I'm shocked that they got relegated. Explicit, mate. I'm absolutely shocked. Again, another conversation I had with Connor about this, and yeah, it's mad. I wouldn't have picked it at the start of the season. Bonucci, terrifying. Keane is an amazing player. How old is he? I think he's 19. If memory serves, Andre, I think he's 19. How do you pronounce his first name? I've always hesitated to say Keane's first name because I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Spurs taking the Liverpool model, trying to do things sustainably in the right way and securing the future of their club, mate. Yeah, and that's why I think they should be applauded. I honestly think Wolves will challenge for the top 4 next season. They're going about things the right way. They have good ownership there, good Portuguese influence, good manager. I still feel there's a little something shady going on with Wolves and this Portugal link, but if it's satisfying all the rules, then my doubts are somewhat unfounded. But I'm glad to see them back. I just love seeing those orange shirts as well. So Napoli fans racially abused Salah, and so did West Ham fans, said Dylan. I'm not aware of the Napoli part. I do remember the West Ham situation actually. Was it Roma Napoli last Sunday? Monkey chance aimed at Koulibaly. I'm not sure if it was in that game, mate, but there's definitely been some stuff aimed at Koulibaly. Again, just because he's a fucking damn fine player and people get pissed off about it. Sean-Luke Doherty O'Brien said, do you think autism needs to be more well known across the world? I think it is definitely, the awareness is definitely on the rise, mate, which is great to see. But it's something that's constantly evolving, and I think the more people that are diagnosed with it at a younger age, and the more parents that are aware of the situations with the kids, and the more older people like myself that are diagnosed, I think awareness will rise across the world, mate. And not just with autism, I think we need to be trying to broaden our minds and our horizons on many different illnesses and many different facets of the human body and mind. But yeah, autism is definitely, the awareness is definitely on the rise, which is a great thing to see. The new Spurs stadium will improve the community in Tottenham, said Rory. It's a wonderful stadium. I know I keep saying it, but it really is. Did anybody watch City today because it was 2-0 and they were and so were they a little lucky? No, they absolutely battered them, and I'm not even joking there. Something like 80% possession. I think they had 16 corners. It was ridiculous. So yeah, no, they just battered them, mate. Moyes, is that how you pronounce it? Is it Moyes? That was my gut instinct to try and pronounce it that way, but I wasn't sure if it was that way. Thank you, mate. I almost got hit by Vividi's ball after the winner. Absolutely insane, celebrating in the stadium. I'm still buzzing, said Senior Al Flamo. I'm jealous, mate. Very, very jealous. Yeah, that must have been class. Must have been class to be in there for that. Does the new Spurs stadium have a trophy room? No need, Liam. They saved a bit of space there. I think the janitor's using it at the minute, but if needs be. Markovic left us to get relegated. 4-1 is V8 score prediction. Craig, his name is pronounced, is it Moise? Okay, I'm not sure again how to pronounce the way you've written it, mate. I will go with Moyes. I like the Moyes part, that's easier to say. What do you think on Keita? Go to 2-0 win. What do you think on Keita going with the 2-0? I don't think he is going, mate. I think it's just a bullshit story around the international break to try and get clicks. I'd be amazed if he moves him on. Still has to develop a lot more. I mean, none of us can say he's been a success so far this season, but for me, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think he'll go anywhere. Shadow Games, welcome, mate. Thank you for joining. And guys, look, I don't think I've done a shout out yet, but if you have joined or you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. Everything on this channel is free. It's always going to be free. We do nightly streams. We do watch-alongs of every Liverpool game, whether it's Premier League, Champions League, whatever it is. We do watch-alongs of it. I'll be here tomorrow night as well, around the same time. And I'm going to keep going for another 15 or 20 minutes, but I will be here tomorrow night at the same time. Then the game on Friday. Reminder, though, I won't be here on Monday. Just, I know I keep ramming at home, but people will message me going, why no stream, why no stream? Filming in London on Monday, so won't be here for that one. Give you guys more information on that after it's filmed, because I don't want to give away stuff before it's done. But yeah, looking forward to it. I will do some, actually I might do some live streaming while I'm away, depending on internet availability and stuff, or even 4G on my phone. I might do some live streaming when I'm away, so keep the notifications turned on just in case. If I can show you some of this set or whatever, I certainly will. Craig, in your opinion, who are the 3 best managers in the Premier League right now? Pep, Klopp, and this is in no order by the way, Pep, Klopp and Pochettino, I would say. Did anybody see Mourinho? God bless Mourinho. Yeah, Jose Mourinho believes Porto can beat Liverpool to progress to the semi-finals of this season's Champions League. Fuck off, Jose, mate. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, mate. Again, you're another has-been. Stop trying to make yourself relevant. Stop trying to say everything anti-Liverpool you can possibly say. Yes, we know you used to manage Porto. Yes, we know you won the Champions League with Porto. Yes, we know you won this many Premier Leagues because you liked holding up your fingers to let everybody know. But nobody gives a fuck, mate. Nobody gives a fuck. Liverpool are going to beat Porto. Liverpool are going to qualify for the semi-finals of the Champions League. And them's is facts, my friends. Them's is facts. I respect Porto. I think it'll be a much more difficult tie than last season. But we're going to get past them. Let's be fair. We're going to get past them. We're better than Porto. We should be going into this game believing that we're getting to the semi-final. Although being respectful and making sure that the lads go about their jobs in a professional manner and give 100%. We're better than Porto. Let's be fair. Mourinho is just trying to play up again. Just think of him as a Portuguese version of Stevie Nicol, although a little bit more relevant because somebody else will probably be stupid enough to employ him soon. Original Gunner said I've subbed already, bro. Thank you very much, pal. Welcome. My prediction is 5-1 to the Reds, said Shadow Games. I think Spurs come in a trophy next season or this season, unlikely. I think people can't judge them on past failures. Absolutely not. And not on the trophy thing, I mean judging them on past failures. They're a club that's definitely on the up. You cannot deny that about Spurs. If they can keep Pochettino, if they can keep Kane, if they can somehow keep Eriksen and add in a couple more quality players, then you would have to say that they are definitely a club on the up who are capable of winning a trophy at some point. Kev, talk to you soon, pal. Great to see you win again. Should do more on the Spurs stadium. It's a real estate scandal in London, forcing out businesses and residents. It's a disgrace what they've done. I'm not educated enough on it, mate, to comment on that. I remember one small thing about them holding out for one company. Was it a printing company or something right at the end? A family business. Other than that, I don't know much about it, mate. What's your socials, or would you rather not? Socials, by that you mean social media accounts? It's Anfield Agenda, mate. On Twitter, Instagram, it's at Anfield Agenda. Yeah, so if you want to give us a follow on there, I think it's in the scrolling text as well underneath the image of the stream there. It's at Anfield Agenda on Instagram and on Twitter. Personally, I don't have social media accounts. I deleted them all because I couldn't be arsed. With it. It can be too depressing at times to go on there and seeing people bitching and moaning about everything to do with the football club that we're all supposed to love. So I try and just keep myself on here now and chat to you amazing people, because you're a much nicer, more upbeat group of people than I've unluckily came across at times on Twitter. But there were some amazing people on Twitter as well. I just found myself getting angrier and angrier when I went on there. Go back to your hidey hole, Jose. Nobody cares, said Rafa the Gaffer. Do you think Ireland will get through the Euros group? I think we might, and here's why. Switzerland are guaranteed a playoff if memory serves, so I think their eye might go off the ball a little bit and we might just get through. Maybe I'm being optimistic there. You know, Jose used to be a Liverpool fan. I believed so. I remember Jamie Carragher saying at one point that he'd seen a crest, the Liverpool crest, on Mourinho's phone. But what I do know for a fact is he wanted the Liverpool job before Rafa got it. It was between those two. The board went with Rafa Benitez, and I think ever since then Mourinho's had a chip on his shoulder against Liverpool, I think. Like it says on my cup, fuck 'em, said Stephen Richards. Like it says on my phone, mate, fuck 'em. I also have a couple of mugs as well, much like yourself. Spurs will win something because they lose more big games, their hunger will grow, but only if Carabao Cup, then the janitor is going to have to move the mop bucket to stop any confusion. No, he won't, Graham, because what will happen is Harry Kane will just bring it home with him and keep it in his gaff, so they still won't need a trophy room. Do you think Ireland will go through to the Euros? Just done that one. How do you think Smalling and Jones will do against Messi? Not very well, mate. Not very well at all, to be honest. Matip has improved a hell of a lot of late, not missing Gomez so much. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think Joe Matip has been very, very good. Oh, sorry, Joshua, I didn't see any news on kit leaks. No, I didn't see anything on the kit leaks. Sorry, only seeing that super chat there now, mate. Apologies. I know I've no more news on the kit leaks. Haven't seen anything, but footyheadlines.com, I believe, is usually the best site for leaks on football kits. They're the ones that I've seen them in the past couple of years anyway. So why Friday night football? Who invented that? Well, mate, come on. You know the answer to that. Fucking television companies. That's who invented Friday night football. It's not enough that we've got Monday night football, sometimes Tuesday and Wednesdays and Thursdays with European games and league games at times. Now we've got Friday, Saturdays and Sundays. So we've got 7 days of the week where you can have possible football on. As fans, I suppose it's a good thing for us. We get to see more football. Twitter not the same without you, pal. You should get back on there at some point. Just mute the fuckers who burn your head out. Too many of them, mate. Too many of them to mute them. That's the problem. And it's nothing to do with trolling me. I mean, I'm, you know, me at this point, lads. Don't give a shit what people say about me. Come on, call me what you want. But when I see people slagging off the club that they profess to support and calling for managers' heads and slagging off the club captain, I can't be arsed with it. I see Phil Jones gurning again when he came on to assist his own goal last night. Somebody sent me, Kev I think it was, sent me a video of that. Very funny. Who should we get in the summer? Said TP Poop. TP Poop, I love that name. Oh God, I'm such a child. Timo Werner. I wouldn't mind another wide forward. And I don't know after that, it depends. If we move Lovren on, maybe another centre back. If we move Mignolet on, maybe a backup keeper if we don't promote Caoimhín Kelleher. But let's not forget we've Ryan Brewster. Let's not forget we've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. And I suppose if we move on Origi and Sturridge, then maybe another forward. But you don't want to stop Ryan Brewster's progression. But at the same time, if you're playing 3 in the forward line, you need 6, I suppose, to make sure you've got cover. If we'd been playing with the attacking flair of last season with the defence of this season, we would have been unbeatable. Well, that's the problem, Graham, mate, I suppose, isn't it? You can't... If we were playing with the same players last year, we probably wouldn't have been as gung-ho because we've been a little bit more defensively solid on purpose this season. A good example I can often use at times is when you see our fullbacks, and I see it more so with Andy Robertson. Instead of... If nothing's on ahead of him, so he's got no overlapping run from James Milner or anything, or Sadio Mane, he'll cut back inside to protect the ball now. Whereas a year ago, himself or Trent might have tried to go and take on his man. But the thing is, if he takes on the fullback and he's dispossessed, then he's out of position and he's open. So what we've seen more is they cut back inside, shield the ball with their body and play it back to Virgil van Dijk or play it across to Joe Matip, but roll it into midfield, protecting possession and not getting caught out of position. I think that's one of the things that's added to us being a bit more solid this season. For once I agree with your starting 11, said John. It's probably wrong though, mate. I think I might have got it right once this season. Gomez hasn't played football in a long time. At what point do we just fuck Matip out of the team, having done nothing wrong? It's difficult, and I'd be a hypocrite to say anything else, mate, because I've always said I'm somebody that believes if you're in possession of the shirt and you're playing well, it's your shirt to keep, and Matip is playing well. Liam said his starting 11 is Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Shaqiri, Gini, Mo, Mane, Bobby. I'm going with the score of 3-0. Again, I would just say, mate, why Shaqiri? What has he done to either deserve or even have your trust to start in such a massive game? I don't see him being a starter in such a big game myself, particularly away from home. If anything, you maybe try him at home, but again, that's just my opinion. Is this our best ever team in Liverpool's history? No, I would say it isn't, mate. No, of our generation, probably, but in the history of the club, nah, You know, there's players there that have won 2, 3 fucking European Cups. No, I would say, but that's just my opinion. We need a big commanding win on Friday night to make a statement, and also our confidence at Cape Town. I don't mean this to sound rude, and I'm not trying to undermine you in any way, mate, because you know I love you. I couldn't give a fuck what type of win we get on Friday night as long as 3 points are on the board at the end of the day. It's about putting points on the board at this moment in time and letting Manchester City have to worry about doing the same thing. Yeah, it'd be lovely to go and win every game handily 3 or 4-0, but at the same time, the way we've had to grind and battle things out at time is building character in those players. And it's the same reason why I often feel the likes of a Manchester City or Paris Saint-Germain at times can fail, because when they really have to batten down the hatches and battle hard, sometimes they're found wanting because they have things so easy at times because their abilities are such that they can just go out there and blow teams away, have 80% possession, have 25 shots in a game and be magnificent. But if everything doesn't go their way, if it gets a bit nitty gritty, if the fight is put to them, sometimes you find these teams lacking in that mental ability. And we've been guilty of that in the past. We've been guilty of not backing down from a fight, but being a little bit mentally shy of getting over the line. And I think I see a difference in this group of players now. Whilst we're on that, get used to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain not being fit. The lad is another one like Lovren, said Brian Morrissey. Craig, have you seen all the drama between McGregor and Khabib? Yes, I have. It's not great. There's no other way of putting it, mate. It's not great. From either of them, to be fair. It's childish. It's disgusting. It's not befitting of the sport that they represent. I don't know what else to say, mate. The rest will come out in the news and in the wash over the next fucking few months, but yeah, it's not great. This is a brilliant team, but Liverpool have had some great teams, some Goldie teams, said Liverpool legends. Bring back Pepe Reina as backup. Matip is the new Gary Gillespie, said Stevie Richards. Good night, mate. I see a few people that are heading off. Good night to you all. Larry, how are you, pal? Barring injury, 5 days later, who do you rest versus Porto from your starting 11? Milner, rest him. I spoke earlier on about the possibility of playing Lovren instead of Matip. Other than that, I don't really see many changes, to be honest, Larry. But what about you, mate? Who would you go with for both games, or one game, even if you haven't got the time to do both? Good point about the big win and building character. Thank you, mate. Not gonna lie, it just popped into my head there when I seen your comment. If we finish second with a record points haul, it would be hard to point the finger and criticise. Some will find something to... Oh, we'll be called bottlers, Graham. Don't you worry about that, pal. If we finish on... I think can we get to 96 points? Is that right? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 96. Let's just say we finish on 96 and Manchester City finish on 97. We'll be called bottlers. 4 points off 100 points. That's the type of fucking morons that you're dealing with, mate, on social media at times. Ridiculous. A points total that would have won the Premier League every other year except last year, I believe. Ridiculous. It's just Liverpool or anybody are fighting against a Manchester City country, let's say, that are setting ridiculous standards because of the calibre of staff that they have at the club. Milner to play left back against Porto? Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You can never second guess the manager, can you? Alex Telles is out for the Porto game. Let's not forget that. He picked up a hip injury while taking a penalty against Braga, which is nuts. Have you heard Jose linked to Everton? I read that last week and it made me smile my ass off, mate. I would fucking love that. I would absolutely love Jose Mourinho to become Everton manager. That would just be it. That would be... Mwah! It just wouldn't get any better than that. Can't rest players for Champions League quarters. That's nonsense talk. Is it? I don't know if it is, mate. It's the whole point of having a squad. I mean, if we're talking about putting out James Milner, putting in Jordan Henderson, I mean, it's rotation. It's not really resting. Yeah, and that's what having a squad's all about, I suppose. Salah or Steven Gerrard, Lovren, Klein, Milner or Henderson, and Premier League or Champions League. Right. Gerrard over Salah for me. Lovren over Klein for me. Henderson over Milner for me. Although I fucking love James Milner. I want to get that out there. I love James Milner. And Premier League over Champions League because we haven't won the Premier League in the Premier League era. But I do love a European Cup. And if we win the Premier League this year, then I want Champions Leagues every year for the next fucking 10 years if possible. Because the European Cup is beautiful and this club is European royalty. But yeah, it's got to be the Premier League this season. Never change a back four that's doing well unless a player like VVD's out for a month and coming back, said Brian. Absolutely. Consistency of defence is massively important. If not Milner, left back, surely who? Not Moreno? God, no. Milner. I mean, why not? Oh, Robertson suspended. Sorry. That slipped my mind. Apologies. I was thinking you were talking about resting players. Oh, 100% Milner at left back. Sorry, I completely forgot Robbo was suspended for a second there. Yeah, no, you're all right. Definitely Milner at left back. Moreno can fuck off and he can just sit in the stands in his Barcelona kit or something. Yeah, no thanks. Fabinho has to start for me in midfield, said Skipper Dog. 100%. In the Champions League, you'll probably see Fabinho and Henderson, and then you'll see people's heads fall off. But yeah, I agree. Fabinho, if he's fit, has to play every remaining game this season for me. Graham Holmes said, okay, let's rest 5 players and Jurgen will be supported for 1-0. Porto, don't think so. Is there any reason, Graham, you're being such a smarmy cunt? Or, I don't know, you having your period or something, pal? I don't know what's wrong with you. If you don't like the answers, mate, then fuck off and watch another channel. It's as simple as that. I don't know why you're being so bitchy and whingy about talking about resting a couple of players, mate. If you don't like other people's opinions, don't fucking ask for them. Simple. I don't put up with people's shit on here, mate, and stop trying to be fucking smart and undermine people. As I said, you're free to comment. I'm not going to throw you out because you're a long time viewer or contributor, but I don't know what the fuck your issue is tonight. If not Milner, then maybe bring in the guy Adam Lewis. That's my bad. I completely forgot about the Robertson suspension, guys. Sorry, that was my bad. Robertson suspension. I agree, Craig. Milner changed for Hendo. Would like to see Shaqiri as a super sub in one of those matches. Hello from the top of the league. How's it feeling in second? It's feeling alright, mate, to be honest. A lot better than it would feel to be United or Chelsea at this moment in time, but not great. But hopefully we can reevaluate the conversation on Saturday, Stanley. But you know what, mate? You are top of the league at the moment, and that's cannot argue with facts. Who do I think will score? Salah. Got to back Salah, mate. Defo backing Salah to score. Is Robbo suspended on Friday? No, he's suspended on Tuesday for the Champions League. Remember he picked up that really late yellow card, I think it was. This has got to be your beard and butter before anything else for me. What is that about? It's got to be your beard on butter. That has to be a misprint. Just stating what I know about football. We all know a lot about football, Graham. That's why we're on here, pal. We all love the sport. I'm not saying you're going to see 5 changes. I was talking about Milner being replaced or Milner being moved and somebody else going into midfield, pal. That's it. Nobody's saying we make 5 sweeping changes. But at the same time, we have Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Lallana available to play in that midfield spot. Shaqiri as well, I forgot about. And depending on what the gaffer needs, things might be moved around. He might try and put the game to bed in the first leg. Maybe I'm completely off, and maybe he sticks with the strongest 11. I don't know. But maybe it's not about strongest 11s here. Maybe it's about horses for courses, and maybe it's about matching up man for man against particular players from Porto. I don't know, mate. I'm not educated enough in Porto to know how Jurgen Klopp is going to look at this, and I would gauge to say you're probably not either, because I don't know, unless you're a massive fan of the Portuguese league and you watch a lot of football, then you know Porto inside out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know I certainly don't. Do you think Everton will ever be relevant again? No, I don't. If by relevant you mean Champions League, top of the table. They could win a cup, of course, and they could win an FA Cup, anything like that is possible, but no, I don't think so. But you know, who am I to say? Somebody could come and buy them tomorrow, and you know they could be the new Manchester City. Salah to score a cracker. Brian Morrissey said, my thing about the back forwards regarding Gomez coming back in for Matip. Yeah, look, I get you. I'm with you, Brian. Matip has been very, very good. Gomez is outstanding, as we know, but yeah, it's difficult to kick somebody out when they're playing so well. Looking forward to seeing young Joe back. Nice that Matip is not scary. I can't wait to have Gomez back. He's great. And I hope his injuries are behind him, his long-term injuries, because every player is going to pick up small little injuries, but it's been difficult for the lad, and yeah, he was great at the start of the season. I'm very good, thank you, Owen Farrelly. I hope you're keeping well as well. David Bean said, has to be an attacking lineup against Porto, get the job done in the first leg. By relevant, I mean Europa League, Champions League, that level. Europa League, yeah, possibly. I mean, top 7, depending on what way the domestic cups go. Yeah, maybe. Champions League level, not in the immediate future. I mean, we're already at a point where it's Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, United, all battling for 4 places. And that's difficult for another club to then step up, and you've got Wolves who are up in their game as well. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? 5 players who've stepped up in the title race: Mane, Firmino, VVD, Fabinho, Robertson. I think some people, and I'm not one of them, mate, I'm just pointing this out, some people would disagree with you on Bobby Firmino. I'm not one of them, as I've said. I don't disagree with anything you've put in there. I think they've all stepped up and done brilliantly. Bread and butter, meaning the league before anything else for me, mate. 100% this season for me, Liam. Other than that, I love a European Cup, as I've said, but I mean, it's all about the Premier League this year. It has to be, even though it's not in our hands, and that does kill me. If I'm being honest, the fact it's not in our hands is very difficult to take. Mane will be on fire and destroy Porto. Let's go Reds. He loves Porto, doesn't he? Hat-trick away there last season. Please be advised our streams contain explicit language of the greatness and quality of Liverpool FC. Yes, nice one, Toblum. Like that one. We do have that warning about the explicit language and stuff, but I like what you've added in at the end of it. Nice. I think he gives Lallana a start against Porto. Gini and Firmino to play in behind him, said Evan. Maybe. I mean, Lallana could be a good shout there, actually, in the European game. A little bit less pace to the game, a little bit more space for him to operate, perhaps. Yeah, good shout. Rory said, my mate who's an Everton supporter said they're pushing for the Europa League. I couldn't even tell you right now where Everton are on the table, mate. I would gather 8-9, maybe somewhere like that, are they? Wolves are overtaking Everton, said Red Hulk. Markovic has not even been on the bench for Fulham. He must be bad. What is up with that young man? Honestly, as Graham has said, if he's not even getting on the bench for Fulham, and he was at Benfica, he had a part of him owned by Chelsea, if memory serves me correct at the time. Or Chelsea had first refusal on him, one or the other, and we had to pay some money to get Markovic. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happened to him. The absolute state of Cardiff tonight, beaten before the game started, said Owen Farrelly. I expected nothing less, mate. I expected nothing less. But the absolute state of the lack of crowd inside that stadium as well is embarrassing. Everton used to be more attractive than Spurs a few years ago, and they actually spend money. They just have no competent managers. They've spent a bit, yeah, to be fair. And they haven't got a really bad squad, Everton. It's just the league is getting so fucking competitive, isn't it? It's just so difficult. Like, you've seen the points totals Liverpool and City are having to go to stay up there at the top. Like, it's crazy, the calibre of the Premier League at the minute. Liam said it's been way too long. I know, mate. It's time to bring it home up the fucking Reds. I'm almost not letting myself dream yet. If City drop points, though, I won't be able to contain myself. I know I won't. Craig, you calorie cutting ahead of Monday filming? Not ahead of Monday, no. Just in general, mate. It'll be a 2 or 3 month thing. Not ahead of filming on Monday. I mean, nothing's going to change between now and Monday. I'll still be a fat fuck. But no, in the long term, yeah, definitely trying to lose 3 stone. So, as I said, wish me luck. Is Naby still injured? I'm not sure, but I don't think so, Wasim. I think he's available. Actually, he is available. Everton are 10th, thank you. You're not wrong about the empty head, Craig. Worst fan base in the league. Yeah, it is embarrassing, mate. I had a bit of a rant about it at the start of the... You know me, I do like a good out rant. But yeah, it isn't great. My prediction is Salah will score on Friday and go back to the top scorer by the end of the season, said Air for Life. I'd love it. I'd love him to score, mate, just to get it off his back, because I feel some people are using it as an excuse to have a cheap dig at him. I actually feel sorry for Markovic at this stage. Money means nothing, said Brian. I don't know, to some extent, pal. He was on 35 grand a week, I think, at Liverpool. Would ease the pain quite a bit. Who would you take, Fekir or Eriksen? What age is Eriksen? Is he 27 or 28? That would be the only thing that might go against him for me, would be his age. But I would have either one. Based on just ability, Eriksen. I think Eriksen is just an outstanding footballer. Fekir, loads of potential, loads of ability, still to fulfill at the top level, where we've seen Eriksen step up on the big occasion. Cardiff in deep trouble, and Warnock finds time to have a laugh with De Bruyne. Yeah, he's as I said, I'm not a fan of Neil Warnock, never have been. I think he's a massive hypocrite, and particularly the way he treats other managers, or when things don't go his way. I'm not talking about the refereeing decisions, by the way, against Chelsea, because that was scandalous. I understand why he was annoyed about that one. To be fair on City, the hardcore loyal fans were getting 20,000 plus in League One. Yep, and I always mention that, Graham, when I talk about City's fans. I do always say that they have, they used to sell out Main Road or have massive crowds there back in League One. But now, why the fuck extend the Eddie had last season and make it bigger? I think it was last season. It could have even been before the start of this season. When clearly you don't get people going, you don't get the stadium sold out for... Well, I don't know, I'd be making up a number if I said a percentage of games, but a fair few games. Eriksen's 27, thank you. He's a one hell of a player, though. We missed him. We had the opportunity, but he was at Ajax. He was looked at. And Spurs were just clever and went and got him and pulled the trigger and got a fantastic player. It says 9 and FC, not 10. No idea what you're talking about. Sorry, mate. If you're talking to me, I've got no idea what you're talking about. Unless I mispronounce something, but... Either way, no idea what you're talking about. Okay, what else have we got? Good luck on the weight loss. Thank you, mate. My own fault, though. I'd lost it, put it back on. Lost it, put it back on. Now it's time to go to the horrible part of trying to lose it again. Does that mean Everton aren't going to win the Everton Cup this year? Oh, it's touch and go, mate. It's touch and go. Still trying to sell their allocation for the FA Cup semi-final. That's what I always said. At least if you get to a Champions League final this year and it's up against City, there'll be more tickets up for grabs. Do you know what I mean? You'll probably be able to get your hands on some more tickets. This Liverpool ride has been even sweeter because of United being in the doldrums, said Cape Town Muslim. Yeah, it's been fun watching them being shit, and then watching them think they're good again, and then realising that they're shit again. Southampton fan here. Good luck. Dan, mate, look, welcome into the chat, buddy. I really, really do hope you guys beat the drop But I can't wish you good luck really for Friday, because we need those 3 points. I know you need them as well, pal, but I think you'll be safe either way. I think you've got the quality to stay up. So sorry, mate, I really want us to get those 3 points. But thank you for popping in, Dan. Always lovely to see fans from other clubs pop in and say hello. City average 10,000 empty seats. I don't know if that's a fact. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a fact. But either way, they have a shit ton of empty seats. I would guess a 30% empty tonight. Just a guess. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call that one a night. I will talk to you all tomorrow at 9:45, and we'll look ahead to the game again against Southampton on Friday night. And we'll of course be doing a watch along of that game as always, so I hope you can join us for that one. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that button on the way out, and don't forget the new Patreon reward scheme have dropped at patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. So if you want to go on there and check it out, you'll see all the different rewards that we have up there. And thank you for those of you that have already signed up. Look, I will leave it there, ladies and gents. Take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucker.